Now we're at the coup de grace, gamers. All roads lead to Nintendeen. Now, this segment is a bit more of like an addendum, so to speak, because in the last time we covered Nintendeen, we declared victory. We declared total Mosquire victory. But it turns out, gamers, Nintendeen didn't lose the war. He just lost the battle. He wasn't retreating. He was, in fact, regrouping. And he decided to come back even stronger. We watched this video last time, this one. I guess some people really like French fries, where he admitted he lost. But as you can see, there's more videos. Nintendeen today. What's happening here? What's this? Nintendeen today? Hang on, what's this all about?
If you thought I was done, I do not think you were paying attention. Welcome to Nintendeen today.
Damn, gamers. He really stuck it to me, didn't he? He really stuck it to me. You know that was him referencing me, gamers. You know it was. Yeah, if you thought I was done, guess again, losers. I'm gonna make my own show called Nintendeen Today. Except I'm gonna end it after 3 episodes when my fucking views aren't as high. I'm gonna end the branding after 3 episodes when I realized, yeah, I don't think my hype is so good where I can brand something Nintendeen Today and they get a lot of views. And as we know, guys, we covered this last time. We talked about this last time. Nintendeen loves the views. He's a man of the views, games. He's a man of the views. So literally what happened is he noticed these weren't hitting the big time numbers and decided to like drop the branding, the Nintendeen branding, and go back to his old style of thumbnail because he's only as recognizable as his unique thumbnail style, obviously. Because obviously no one's watching it for Nintendeen, and no one's watching it for that, right? And even he knows as much, gamers. Even he knows as much, because I think it was in this video exactly where he drops the branding for the first time, at least in the titles. He goes, after awesome feedback from many of you, I ordered a bunch of lights and random equipment for my office space. We'll be back on camera sometime. But I want to make sure the presentation and editing is better. Editing is better, huh? Don't know how much more better editing you can do when you're uploading daily slop still, broski. Switch back to the old style of thumbnails, because I guess Time of My Things episodes is not very algorithm friendly. Yeah, guys, the numbers were going down. The numbers were going down, guys, for Mr. Dean. So he decided to switch it up. Now, if you ask me personally, when he says the setup, I'm like, I mean, it looks a bit plain, but I don't see much else wrong with it. But then he changes it. He does in fact change the camera setup. He changes it to something. Oh, here it is. He changes it where he blurs the background. So I'm like, well, why'd you blur the background? I always hate when YouTubers do this. When it's like, I got a boring background, so let me blur it. No, how about you just put, like, you have the question block plush, you had like a Wario plush, like, why not just do that instead, huh? I don't like, what's the point of blurring the background? Yeah, the zoom meeting blur effect, I'm just like, it looks kind of ass if you ask me. I don't really like the zoom effect blur background. That's just me rating the setup anyway. Setup review. I'll give it a 5, Nintendeen. Come back stronger, okay? Come back better. I mean, I said come back stronger. How about come back never? Because gamers, I decided to do a little bit of forward investigating. And as of now, this video is the most recent Nintendeen upload. Something about Resident Evil Requiem. I decided to drag my mouse across the whole time bar of the video, only to see that there isn't a single bit where he has a face cam. So as of the most recent upload right now, he seems to have dropped the face cam thing entirely. So I wanted to see, when was the last time he decided to use it? And gamers, we have to go back over 2 weeks. And bear in mind, 2 weeks is a long time in Nintendeen land. That's about like nearly 20 uploads. See, we have to go back to this video. The Nintendo Switch 2's variable pricing is ridiculous. So 12 videos after his rebrand, he decides to drop the face cam entirely. And bearing in mind, I say after 12 videos, but even within that 12 video gap from Nintendeen Today episode 1 to variable pricing, he didn't even use the face cam in all of those neither, which makes it even more head scratching. Why did he go through the bother of just like doing this whole thing if he wasn't even going to make his content any better? And the answer is obviously the first one he came up with, the money. Nintendeen realizing that adding a face cam is actually a lot more harder work than it looks. You have to look and speak in a more presentable manner. Adds an entirely new dimension for extra things you can do, be it showcase your expressiveness, adding skits, or just really anything that would showcase your personality. And of course, we can't be showcasing personality, not for the cause, not our precious cause. So I decided to drop it entirely for more looping gameplay background footage. No, seriously, what the hell was the point of this rebrand thing? What was the point? It's like if I said I'm so Moresty today and I did nothing but keep my videos the same. Should I do that? You let me know while I let past me take back the reins. So what's one thing I've always said about Nintendeen gamers? What's one thing I've always said about Nintendeen? My determination of Nintendeen's work is that he is a lover scorned gamers. Now, I think it's safe to say that my assumption was correct, right? In that he very much acts like a lover scorned. But let's say there was like somebody in my chat right now that was like, Musty, come on. Like, you're kind of over-egging the pudding a little bit. And I'm like, well, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you know, has feathers like a duck, it's a duck, right? But see, yeah, but he didn't really say he's a duck, though. So how do I know he's a duck? I don't, how do I know this, Misty? I don't know this for sure. I feel like you're lying to me still. I feel like you're lying to me in 4K resolution.
And the user reviews suggest that, as well as the online sentiment around the title. We're comparing Donkey Kong Bonanza.
In the middle of his Nintendo Switch 2 game should not be $70, he includes a plug, which is sub for more Nintendo hate, a former fanboy. Is that enough for you? When I say lover scorned, is that enough proof for you guys? I mean, I already knew this, but yeah, shocker, right? I just kind of had one of his videos running in the background at 2 times speed. So, guys, I'm a Nintendo. I used to be a fanboy, but now I'm not. Now I'm on the right side of history. So if you needed any more proof that he's a lover scorned, there it is right there. I already knew it personally, but if you needed that silver bullet, there it is, gamers. But I think the main video I wanted to talk about today was this one, actually. I'm tired of this grind, but that's too damn bad. This video, Nintendo attacks emulators as fans realize the Switch 2 is obsolete. I'm like, doing a bit of heavy lifting with that title there. What the fuck? Now, of course, this comes from the news that Nintendo at the moment is kind of going DMCA striking all the GitHub repositories for Switch emulators. So obviously, but like, realize the Switch 2 doing a bit of heavy lifting, huh? Doing a bit of heavy lifting, that title. What does he have to say? What is the main crux of his argument? Let's have a listen.
Reality. Nintendo has to shut down.
Because obviously, game is just a Nintendeen video, so I have to wait for 9 minutes and 35 seconds into his video before he actually gives me a decent summation of his overall point. So let's have a listen.
See for that. Most people are doing it on their Wii. Here's the reality. Nintendo has to shut down emulators because people are very easily realizing that the newer games do not offer enough to justify the extra expenditure.
Yeah?
Trust me, I am a
trust me, I made it up.
Mario Tennis aficionado. I have been playing every single Mario Tennis since the Nintendo 64. Fever is the first time I do not buy a Mario Tennis game immediately.
Because you don't have a Switch 2. Again, it's the classic case, isn't it? Tell me sweet little lies. You don't have a Switch. According to you, you don't have a Switch 2. So of course you didn't buy it at launch. What do you mean? Of course you didn't. And of course you're not going to buy it because your audience would be upset at you. What the hell is this? Of course you didn't buy it for Fever at launch. People are realizing that Nintendo is obsolete. That's the overall point. The reality is people are going back to the old games because the Switch 2 kind of sucks now, right? People aren't getting their values worth, right? To which I say, now, I'm all for emulation. You guys know how pro emulation I am, right? I think it's fair to say, I don't think it's outside of the realms of reasonability for Nintendo to take down websites that are hosting a emulator for a console that is still in active circulation, in active development. If you ask me, no. Of course they're gonna, right? Like right now, I have an emulated copy of Pokemon Emerald on my phone. And that's because right now, if I was to go to any widely available storefront of Nintendo's, I cannot buy Pokemon Emerald. If they're not gonna sell it, I'll buy it. I'll just emulate it myself, who cares? But with Switch games, the Switch 1 games, they're still developing games for the Switch 1. So I think it's fair for Nintendo to go, if you get rid of this, what's the point? The analogy I made is like, for example, if we are both at self-checkout, right? And you decided to just forget to scan one of your items and put them in the bag, and you didn't get caught, I'm not going to stop you. Nor am I going to like flag him down and go, oh, it's him. That's the same with Switch emulators. If you download a Switch emulator, I ain't going to stop you. In the same way, I wouldn't stop someone from forgetting to scan something at a self-checkout and leaving. But if you get caught, I'm not going to go, oh, why did you game? You shouldn't have got, well, it's only just it's like, well, you stole though. Like, you kind of got caught. Like, that's kind of the risk you assumed with forgetting to scan something at a self-checkout is you got caught. That's kind of it, dingus. You know what I mean? It's the same with a Switch emulator. Like, if you're running a currently available emulator or currently available console as an emulator, you can't be that upset when you get got. If they were getting, like, GBA emulators or, like, all sorts, like, if they were doing ROM sites, you know, like, for example, when they got MU Paradise, I was really upset about that. I was really upset when they got MU Paradise. There's a whole repository of emulators. And thankfully, you found there's other websites that have, it's the classic cut one head off, 2 heads will spawn in. So I'm not worried about it in that regard. So the fact that Nintendeen hasn't really like accentuated the fact that if they do try and take these down, we're still going to find them online, is just, I think he's doing a disservice to the emulator space. Because that's the one thing I always say whenever Nintendo takes down emulators. Like, we don't have to worry, guys. When you cut off one Hydra head, 2 more are going to spawn. We will find a way. Emulation will always find a way. We'll always find a way. Don't worry about that, okay? We'll always find it. So when he does this, I'm just like, I don't know what he's talking about. Also, don't do it before the game comes out. Yeah, exactly. Like, people are going to assume piracy. What did you expect? Do you know what I mean? I love emulators, but when an emulator, like, and obviously, like, you run the risk of, like, emulation getting into piracy, which, of course, if someone downloads a copy of Pokemon Emerald that didn't buy it originally, technically they pirated the game, but I'm not gonna get, it's a game that they're not selling anymore, who cares? If you're, like, pirating, like, Tomodachi Life on the Switch 1, like, that's a game you could buy right now. If you get caught, then what do you mean? Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, am I supposed to have some sympathy for you? Not particularly. I can't say I do. I'm gonna be honest. I can't say I do. I don't think he's ever truly deleted off the internet, which sucks because I really wish Nintendeen would be. Leave Nintendeen alone. He's just trying his best. Okay, he's just trying his best. All right, he's trying to do it. All right. I know. What's the next timestamp we got, games? He's just trying
already so many people talking about how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a much better kart racer than Mario Kart World.
Who gamers? Who's saying this? I've not met anyone who's saying that.
The 3-lap tracks for Mario Kart World were a lot more loved than all of the intermission tracks that have been put into the game. But if you take away all of those intermission tracks, what's left? What's left to justify this title over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
The new parkour. You're gonna mention the parkour, Dean?
Pointless open world that most people drove around for a bit and realized it was just a waste of time?
I mean, you know, the fun is kind of intrinsic value, but sure, okay.
Or is it the additional mechanics that are behind this game that nobody really asked for because Mario Kart is a casual title? So
yeah? I mean, Nintendo, like, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, yeah, did technically anyone ask for Mario Kart World to be all parkour craziness? Maybe not, but now that it's here, I know for goddamn certain that I never want to go back, all right? This is spoken like someone who has never played Mario Kart World. Once you've played Mario Kart World, you'll realize that this parkour thing makes every other Mario Kart game obsolete, right? That's what it is. And also, listen, Nintendo, you can't lie to me, okay? You're lying to me. You're lying, Dean. You were in my game, Dean. You were in my game. You were in my game, and I beat you. I beat you, Dean. I beat you fair and square. It's on my Twitter. Hey, it's on my Twitter timeline. I beat you. I was 6th and you were 7th. Okay, you lost. You lost to me. And this is the part where someone points out, yeah, but mostly he made like a community post addressing that like that's not actually him, by the way. He didn't name me, but he addressed that. Oh, his community tab is gone. What happened to the community tab, Nintendeen? Is it because your audience were fucking batshit, so you got rid of it so people couldn't post anything? Is that what? Oh, you're trying to hide all the batshit things that you used to post on there? Oh, Dean, what happened? What happened to the tab? No, there was so much craziness over there, and he got rid of it. It's almost like he doesn't want to cultivate a community, but wants to say his nonsense into the wind. Now, guys, you're probably thinking, once again, Musty, I'm playing Nintendeen Police. I'm playing Nintendeen Police, Musty. What do you mean when you say that? He doesn't want to raise a community. He just wants to have an audience that will a bunch of sycophants who will listen to what he has to say, and that is it. I've got the silver bullet for you right here, gamer. So he made a video, like an hour-long video, I think, an hour-and-a-half-long video, analyzing all the sales, right? This is a pseudo follow-up, gamers. He addresses what happened in this video where he admitted that he lost. He lost the war. He lost the cause. He addressed it in this video, gamers. What does Nintendeen have to say? Let's have a look.
How's it going, folks?
Now remember, the title is, yes, the Nintendo Switch 2 is still struggling. 17 million, by the way, and it hasn't even been a year, but sure. Okay, try and convince me that it's doing poorly. Try and convince me, please.
So now that the dust has settled a bit since the financials, I've kind of fully transitioned into this new Nintendeen Today format where I show myself on camera periodically. Mind you, I'm not going to be showing my face in this one because it's...
Oh, because it'd be too much effort, wouldn't it? It'd be too much effort, wouldn't it? And also, when you say you transition to a new format, what the fuck is the new format? It's just you yapping about nonsense about hating Nintendo still. Like, what is the feasible difference between the Nintendeen Today era and before? There is no difference. The effort is still just as lacking. The content's still just as bland and boring. The difference is you show your face, which... Now, I'm gonna be as respectful as I can when I say this. I'm genuinely not trying to be a cunt. I want to make it very, very clear. Because I'm imagining you're not used to being on camera, this is because it's your first time on camera, your delivery, I would say your face doesn't really add much to the content. You're not really being as expressive as you could be. And that's because you're used to just being a voiceover, which means you're not used to presenting yourself in an interesting way in the slightest, which is fine. But like, even on a level where you're showing your face, it doesn't really add much to the editing. Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't add much to the editing at all. You're still kind of just sitting there talking. When you say this, I'm just like, I don't know what it means, but okay.
A lot of numbers talk, and I just don't feel like turning the camera on.
But it doesn't feel like,
I made an entire
obviously.
video about the one significant thing that I got wrong in the entirety of 2025, which I really only made.
The one thing he got wrong, gamers. The one you mean when he says, and also when he says you got the one thing I got wrong, it's the main thing you got wrong. The entirety of the last 8 months, you've been doomsaying about the Switch and saying it was going to perform shit, and it didn't. That's like that's like the Nintendeen thing. That's like your one saving grace, to the point where you're so infamous for this that I could make a tweet about it and it gets like 1K. Do you know what I mean? Oh no, it's 999. Now it's 1K. There it is. That's how infamous you are, despite the fact that you're, relatively speaking, a small fry. There's 1,000 people on Twitter who are like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean?
One significant thing that I got wrong in the entirety of 2025, which I really only made because I was told that I would never admit if I was wrong about anything. And while I do hate being wrong, if there's one thing that I appreciate and it cancels out my hatred for being wrong, is being able to prove others wrong. So once again, I was right in that I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. But
what fucking word spaghetti! Holy shit! I'm only admitting I'm wrong because the people on the line that say I can't admit I'm wrong, I'm dunking on them. Yeah, eat that, people on the line. I mean, do you want to admit that you're wrong so that you could be as consistent as possible with the words you say? Because the consistency of your voice is the only thing you have as a online commentator. It's like literally the one starring thing that you have. No, I'm just going to do it to dunk on the hypothetical people on the line. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. Nah.
that's besides the point. Honestly, I made that video because I wanted to get the total shipped through sales numbers out of the way.
So, okay, hang on. Gamers, I remember this bit now. I remember this now. Gamers. Now, remember, we talked about this last time, all right? What's the one thing that Nintendeen does, right? The one thing that I would say my biggest critique of Nintendeen is that he can't pick a lane, right? He's either, I'm just this small little bit, no, why is everyone coming up? No. And then on the other side, we must fight for the cause. Nintendo is under fire. We have sent an emergency directive. Join the fight. No, but I'm tiny. I'm a tiny little guy. No, guys, please don't make a video about me, Arlo. Please, Scott, leave me alone. And I'm just like, pick a lane, you fucking cowards. What are we doing here? So gamers, listen carefully to this. Listen carefully. Probably the biggest L that Nintendeen will ever showcase on a video, ever. And I'm not exaggerating this. Listen carefully.
Because I knew that would absorb a lot of the attention from this channel, and then now that they've all kind of moved on for a bit, and I've gotten a bit of a chance to review the financials.
Now that the hate brigade has moved on, I could talk about the numbers and I won't get harassed. Now that I admitted I was wrong and all the haters have moved on, I can finally talk about the numbers and we won't get harassed. So again, it's the classic case of he wants people. So what is it, Dean? You want people to see this video because you want more people to know that Nintendo's doing poorly, right? Ideally. But you also can't handle the smoke. What's the one thing we said last time, gamers? Nintendeen hates it when you make videos about him. Because what did he say in that like anti-Nintendo content videos? That like, your video's not going to get a lot of views, guys. Remember, if you make a video about me or like photography, it's not going to get a lot of views. So yeah, just don't make videos about me. This is proof, gamers, that he can't handle the smoke. He cannot handle it, gamers, because he made that video. Because if he's to be believed, he made this to get us all to focus on this video, so we wouldn't focus on this. Don't make videos on me. I'm not scared. I'm not owned.
The past year.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
In fact, we were significantly more right than we were.
And of course, the rest of the video talks about sales, which is extremely boring. But the fact that he just admitted to like that unbelievable in the first minute is an unbelievable level of self-own I don't think I've ever seen anyone do on the internet games. And I've seen a lot of people. I'm not wrong. I was just saying I'm wrong so that you guys can't say that I never admit I'm wrong. Plus, I made this video to get all the haters off my back so that I could talk about the sales in peace now. Nintendeen, brother. Listen, you're not meant for this, okay? You're obviously not meant for this fight, okay? You're obviously not meant for this. You're obviously... Let's make it clear, guys. Nintendeen hates it when you make videos about him, okay? Because he will watch it and he will get upset. I want to put that clear right now. So if you guys ever are interested in making a video, critiquing his work, pointing out that his stats are wrong, showing that he's telling sweet little lies as he always does, he's gonna hate it, gamers. He hates it so much. Don't ever forget that, okay? Now, if there's one final thing I want to leave you guys on in regards to Nintendeen, is we're going to go back to the other video. Nintendo attacks emulators and realizes the fans realize the Switch 2 is obsolete. Now, that's a massive claim. What's his source, gamers? Let's find out his source. Because I did want to know his source, obviously, for this claim. So 5 minutes in, obviously, because it's a Nintendeen video.
Requires a form of payment, and more often than not, the amount that you have to pay does not justify the end output. And so perhaps now more than ever, gamers have decided to take this into their own hands.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Emulation has never been easy.
Have you got like the numbers from like emulators like being higher than normal? Have you like consulted any emulation websites and seen if there's like a spike or something? Like what have we done here? Like, because it would be interesting if like post-Switch 2 emulation and stuff like that. It'd be like, okay, cool.
Buying your own games and dumping the ROMs has never been easier.
Okay.
And while I do not condone it, piracy has never been easier. Finding ROMs online has never been easier.
Sure.
And having a gaming desktop, a gaming laptop,
who's the
a
fans,
handheld
though?
gaming PC has also never been easier.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
and now
the fans,
people
though.
are realizing,
Who's
for
people?
now
Okay,
at
people.
least,
People. Okay,
until
here we
the
go.
good
Here we
games
go.
start coming out
Here
on
we
the
go.
Switch 2,
Yep.
if the good games start coming out on the Switch 2,
We already have good games, but sure. Okay.
if the
Who is
only
it?
purpose of having a Switch 2 is to play Switch 1 games with performance bumps, perhaps it might just be a better idea to emulate it on a PC. Right?
Okay, I don't really commentate on the gameplay because I know it's just supposed to be in the background, but you are ass at 3D World. Holy how did that boo take fucking 2 of your power-ups, bro? What is that? Bro, you're shit at this game. I thought I was bad at games. Like, I sometimes have my DSP moments where I'm just like, what is that, broski?
I know somebody specifically who has spent the last 3 years
the hell
putting
on,
off
bro.
playing
What we
Tears of the
doing?
Kingdom because there were
Hang on. Here's the source, gamers. Let's go.
bumps. Perhaps it might just be a better idea to emulate it on a PC. Right? Like, I know somebody specifically who has spent the last 3 years putting off playing Tears of the Kingdom because there were rumors of a Switch Pro.
Okay.
He loved Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom happened to come out around the time that he became a new dad.
Okay, there's no way your source is, I know a guy. There's no way.
So he's like, I'm not going to have time to put the
This is
effort
just like
that
a
I
quick
want into this game
anecdote,
yet. Anyway,
and you're gonna
I
move
will
on to
wait
like
for
the
the
numbers,
Switch Pro
right?
and play Tears of the
You're the
Kingdom
numbers guy,
instead.
right?
Eventually, that Switch Pro became a Switch 2, so he
Dean,
started
there's no
waiting for
way.
that. But then the Switch 2 ends
Dean,
up being announced.
you're spending
it
an
comes
awful
out,
lot of
it's a
time on this
weaker than
anecdote.
most
There's
people
no way
expected,
source,
and
my
despite
friend.
being more weaker, it's also more expensive than
There's-
people expected. And then even in addition to that, now you got to spend $80 on Tears of the Kingdom just to get the Switch 2.
I'll save you guys the trouble. The source is, it's just his friend. It's his friend, gamers. But remember, the numbers guy. This is the numbers guy, by the way. The numbers guy, sales this, sales that. No, he just like, my friend Frank downloaded an emulator once, and that's kind of it. Another classic case, gamers. Tell me sweet little lies. Oh, Dean. It's your friend when it's convenient, and it's numbers when it's also convenient. You're a small bean when it's convenient, and you're a freedom fighter when it's also convenient. This is unbelievable, broski. What a classic delve into the mind of Nintendeen gamers. And I think that's all I've got in regards to Nintendeen content today. Final thoughts. He may have admitted he lost the battle, but I think it's fair to say that he's probably also going to lose the war too. Because good fucking lord, this guy just can't be stopped. He just can't be stopped, can he? He's just going to constantly preach to his ever-dwindling audience that sales this, but I'm a freedom fighter that, but I'm a small bean this, and you shouldn't make videos about me that. My projection for Nintendeen is, you know how Marie Antoinette famously said, let them eat cake? Allow King Moresty to say, let the line go down, Nintendeen. Let the line go down, broski. Let the line go down. Let the 10 of 10s be released. Let the 10 of 10s be released, gamers. What did you miss? You missed the whole stream. That's kind of all I got today, gamers. A short follow-up on this glorious day, gamers. On this glorious day. Get out of here, okay? A short, musty Sunday. I got work. I gotta get to work, okay? I gotta get to work, all right? That's all I gotta do. This is just gonna be a small follow-up. And I'm gonna go to work, okay?